Wir können mal jetzt zum Thema Uhren wechseln. Und zwar Teddy Balthasar und Kevin O'Leary, das Tech-Team, was Uhren, wenn es um Uhren geht. Die haben ein neues Video hochgeladen, und zwar vor 2 Tagen. Und zwar, wie sie auf neue Uhren reagieren. Da können wir mal reingehen.
So, I poo-poo on it.
Hey everyone, Teddy Balthasar here, back with my friend Kevin. So
Great
Kevin,
to be here. Teddy,
great to see you again.
Yeah.
Every single time we do a video.
On point hier, rotes Band. Ich habe ihm geschrieben auf Instagram, ich habe dem guten Herrn geschrieben, ich kenne ihn ja, seitdem ich studiere und alleine wohne, erste Season Shark Tank. Kevin O'Leary, einer der, ja, Kevin O'Leary ist einfach ein heftiger Typ, ne?
All the comments are, I love it, these guys are doing videos together. We need more of it. So we actually have some different content slated up for all of you guys. We have one planned here, many others throughout the year. So after this video, definitely go over to your channel as well so that you can follow along on Kevin's channel, because we have a ton of different escapades going on. So definitely go over there.
Yeah, my base loves it too, Teddy. I'm getting rave reviews of the stuff we do together, so let's keep doing it.
I love it.
Yeah.
I don't need any encouragement for that. So today what we have planned for this video, now I don't know what you've seen yet, I'm sure you're familiar with some of these, but I wanted to get your first kind of take reaction on some of these new releases that have been rolled out in 2021 from a lot of the leading brands. Just some of them. Just going to go through and just kind of get your gut take on what you're thinking about some of these new releases.
Well, you know, Teddy, I stay pretty au courant, as they say, so I'm probably just going to blow you away.
Well, your commentary is always top class, so let's just go through it. So the first one's from Rolex. Now, most of the discussion for Rolex this year was around the Explorers, and for good reason. We saw new Explorer 1s, we also saw some new Explorer 2s.
And highly anticipated, I might add.
Yes.
I mean, they're very good, Rolex, at leaking so that everybody goes crazy, and when they finally release it, there's a huge amount of pent-up demand. It's a very smart marketing strategy. No one's ever accused them of being bad marketers, that's for sure.
That is 100% true.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin, so for the first watch that Rolex released this year, at least the first one we'll touch on, is the new Rolex Explorer. Now, just some context with this one. It looks very familiar.
Yeah.
The talking point here, though, is 39 millimeters, dropped it down to 36 millimeters.
Let me tell you what's going on there. Probably.
Komm, wir brauchen was Neues. Oh, jetzt hier zu AP, komm.
Let's go on to this. Now, this was by far the most polarizing watch released at...
Yeah, yeah.
Ich brauche immer noch 2 Stück, falls jemand die verkaufen will.
In the last, like, several months. So I want to hear your take on this, because you talk about appreciation. I mean, it's limited to 250 pieces, I believe. But this definitely got some pushback. What is your initial thoughts?
What I'm liking about the brand and what they're doing, when they brought out the 1159, they got the same flag.
Hatte die 1159. Stimmt.
Huge pushback.
Stimmt.
They made a huge, big release, and
but who was the first to buy the Perpetual? Me.
That's my favorite.
Also ich weiß, dass er den Perpetual Calendar hat. Ist halt so, wenn man unter Dealern ist, ne, und jetzt zum Beispiel über die Uhr redet oder so, ne, ist halt lustig. Der gewerbliche Vertrieb urteilt jetzt über so eine Uhr anders. Also wir hören ihm jetzt mal zu und hören, was Kevin O'Leary zu der Uhr sagt, okay? Und ich sag dann, was andere Leute sagen würden, nicht ich, aber andere Leute sagen würden.
Yeah, it has appreciated. It initially didn't do anything, and then all of a sudden it got hot when people started to realize the beauty of that dial, how beautiful it was. And everybody was freaking out, oh, it's not the Royal Oak, it doesn't have the Royal Oak, you know, symmetry and all that, but they snuck in that symmetry underneath the round dial if you really look at the case. But the point was, with this maker, with AP and Francois and the you know, he's almost exploring new directions, and I appreciate him for that. I endorse this piece. Now, purple is not my favorite color.
Also, die Sache mit der Code 1159 ist, bei Händlern ist es so, oder auch bei der Boutique, okay? Diese Uhr ist schon schwer an den Mann zu bringen. Wir müssen nicht darüber urteilen, es ist eine wunderschöne Uhr und so weiter. Der Trend für Lederbänder ist gerade halt sehr schwierig. Weil die Uhr ist sehr teuer, und wenn man eine Royal Oak haben will, dann muss man immer eine 1159 dazu kaufen. So ergibt sich dann der Deal, ne? Bei Händlern ist das so, wenn man jetzt mit Händlern sprechen würde, so, halt, niemand würde eine 1159 halt als Händler kaufen, weil sie einfach niemand kauft. Tut mir auch sehr im Herzen weh. Ich würde mir es auch anders wünschen, wenn ich die Uhr mir angucke mit den Lachs und so weiter. Richtig nice Uhr, aber AP ist halt Royal Oak. Selbst die Offshore-Modelle, selbst die neuen Offshore-Modelle sind einfach ein pure Pain zu verkaufen.
Because they're going right after Richard Mille with this. That's what's going on here. That's what they're doing.
Ja, die waren schon vor Richard Mille da, muss man sagen, ne, mit der
Konzept. Look, crazy dial, but this is going to be a good collector's piece.
Ja, ja.
I mean, it's going to I think it's going to appreciate just given the limited production, and it created a stir that transcends the community of watches. Whenever you can do that in the industry of watches, that just gets out to the regular public and can just be pop culture. Yeah. This watch did it.
I'm okay with it. Purple is just not my thing.
Ich liebe Lila.
Again,
ich liebe Lila.
Red, it'd be on my wrist right now.
I'm very intrigued by how you are reacting to some of these.
Ich glaube, die nächste Uhr ist Captain America. Die wird dann eher was für Mr. Wonderful sein.
Going a direction that I thought for some, but in other ways you're not. So it's good to see. All right, so Kevin, the next brand I want to look at is Cartier, and I want to look at the new cloche. So these watches, in terms of, we're talking about silhouette a lot.
Right.
I mean, these are probably
these
the most...
These are not limited edition.
But in terms of price, around high 20s to 30s, depending on the material.
Yeah.
But the design...
I think this is 25, dark face.
Yeah, you're in that kind of range, high 20s, early, low 30s. What's your take on these?
So, I have been considering the gold dark face, but I'm not there yet. I'm a little, this is an on the fence purchase.
Okay.
It's going to be a striking piece on your wrist. There's no question. It's got a vintage look to it.
100%.
You know, the thing is, Teddy, you have to admit, dress watches are not hot right now.
No, they're not. What do you see for the future of dress watches? Because I could see a comeback. The steel sports kick it's relentless right now.
Well, it's been going on for 7 years.
Die Uhr ist schon schick, so mein Design, also ich finde vom Design her ist es jetzt nicht meins.
Was the new Seamaster 300.
Very hot.
I love this watch.
Yeah.
They had the Diver 300s, which have kind of been a mainstay. You had the helium escape valve, and that was kind of the Pierce Brosnan era, emerged from the 90s.
Right.
That's the Bond watch.
Yeah.
But then you have these, which don't maybe necessarily get the same amount of love.
Lollipop, secondhand, cool.
I think it's more true to the original 1957
It's
design.
very interesting that you bring up Omega, because for the last, I don't know, 6, 7 years, I have really ignored the brand. And I'm now coming back. Because my very first piece was the Moonwatch. Way back in the 60s. That's the first watch I ever wanted. I mean, Omega was really amazing to attack.
Guck mal, jeder fängt mit Omega an. Omega ist schon einfach eine sehr, 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 sehr gute Marke, ne?
Themselves to NASA and the whole, chase for the moon landing. That whole thing became part of its DNA.
Okay, so now we've been talking a lot about green dials. Let's just look at this one, because I think this was probably the talk of the town in some ways. 5711 now has been shifted over to the green dial. What are your thoughts on this?
So
ich habe die jetzt einmal in echt gesehen, war jetzt nicht so der absolute Bringer.
First of all, I'm very thankful because I have a 5711 original. It doubled in value that day. That's basically what happened. I've never seen appreciation like that. They're trading for 110 grand or something right now.
It's insanity.
It is insanity. I'm glad I have it. Do I like this piece? Yes, I do. I do. I really do.
So you were very against some other green dials. What makes you say this is okay?
Because it immediately became maybe the most sought after steel watch in the world. This piece. This one. This specific piece. It wasn't even debated amongst collectors. Everybody said yes that could get one and has already ordered one. And the demand is insane for this watch. The demand came from the United Arab Emirates. It came from Saudi Arabia. It came from Japan, all over Asia, all over North America. Very often they bring up these pieces and they're only hot in certain geographies. This is smoking hot all around the world.
Okay, so let's get into maybe some different type of watchmaking. We'll do a final 2 watches. So one, American 1921. I know you have the...
I have this piece.
Ah, nice Uhr. Nicht, also 90% aller Leute würden sagen, nicht nice, aber die habe ich schon oft gesehen. Gefällt mir echt gut. Unverkäuflich, niemand wird diese Uhr kaufen, aber ich mag sie.
Yeah, this is
cool.
This is now. They have it in white gold. You have the platinum, right? With the blue numeral.
I'm happy with the platinum. I prefer platinum in this piece because it's very, very, very classic. They really haven't changed the caliber since they brought it to market. I mean, they've upgraded it, obviously, but they've left a lot of the original characteristics identical.
So, I mean, do you like the 1921, though, like the design? I mean, there's this catch, I mean, for you...
Ich mag die Uhr.
Yeah, I do,
ich mag die Uhr, aber
I bought it more. Actually, I bought it with you, Teddy.
Yes, I remember.
I bought it for a television piece, and I have worn it multiple times on various shows, and everybody talks about, what's wrong with that watch? Why is it off, axis? And I said, it's not off axis. It's the same conversation, which is why I bought it.
It's fun. Now, the last watch we're going to look at is the new, probably the biggest release in terms of watchmaking chops this year, I would say. And this is with the new caliber 185 from JLC. So this, a four-sided watch.
Yeah.
Four-sided watch.
Vier
has
Seiten?
crazy different functions. I believe 11 different complications on this.
Have you put this on your wrist yet?
I have not.
Ich brauche auf jeden Fall einen Jägerle-Kultrip.
My wrist yet, but I mean, talking minute repeaters, flying tourbillons, perpetual calendar, pretty crazy. There's also on the back chassis. So you know, on your I think you have a duo face.
I do. Yeah.
Like you have, of course, the flip side of the case. Right. But this on the actual chassis itself, there's also 2 additional faces. Yeah. So on the back of the steel chassis, and then on the reverse.
So that, you know, really what they're doing here is going after the Uber collector. That's what's going on. If I was having to...
Ja, die haben das immer schon gemacht, solche Uhren, das jetzt keine, also das hat Jägerle Kultur auch schon vorher mal gemacht, das ist jetzt nicht so, dass es komplett, also diese Art von Konstruktion haben sie schon vorher gemacht.
Yes, on this piece 10 years from now, in terms of its value, I would guess that it would appreciate. It really is a beautiful piece of work.
It's crazy too, because when you're talking about such limited numbers of production, I mean, it takes a small crowd to change the whole game.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, I think this
Uhren,
was
weißt du, da gibt's schon ein paar.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking total amount production, 10 pieces worldwide, I think, for this. Yeah. That's fair enough. There's a lot of places you could put $1 million. So in general, just to recap, I mean, was there just one standout watch for this year that was like, that was it?
I'm sorry, but it has to be the Patek green face.
5711.
Yeah. You know, the funny thing is, Teddy, you know if you walk in a room with that piece, it's going to be the envy of everybody's wrist. I mean, it's just, everybody's going to want that piece. It's a beautiful piece. It's got the heritage. It's got, you know, it's already got the 5711 guaranteed appreciation from the investment side of it. And it's beautiful. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I could only have one of today's discussion, that would be the watch. That's it.
Ich freue mich drauf, Leute.